Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I show you how to make these 3 snacks. Very easy to put together, and if you are new here, feel free to join us by subscribing. So our first snack is this savory chin chin. You start by grating 1 piece of garlic and then half a medium onion. Then you want to set that aside. To your mixing bowl, you are going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, or you can also use soft flour for this, some baking powder, some salt, and you are going to give this a good mix. The next thing you want to do is to add margarine. I'll leave the measurements for everything in the description box. You want to give this a good mix until a breadcrumb consistency is formed. If you like, you can also grate in some nutmeg for that amazing flavor. This takes it to the next level. So once that is done, after mixing, you want to make a well in the center and then add some water. You can also add your onion and garlic mixture at this point and give it a good mix until it forms a soft dough. You don't want the dough to be too sticky, but you also don't want it to be too firm so that it can be nice and crunchy. I added my onion and garlic mixture much later, so I had to add about a teaspoon of flour to replace the moisture in here, okay? So once that is done, you are going to divide this into 2 and then set it aside in your fridge for 30 minutes or your freezer until it also solidifies a bit, which makes it easy to work with. After 30 minutes in the fridge, you want to flour your work surface and then begin to work with the dough one by one. You want to use your rolling pin to roll it until it's nice and flat to your desire. So for this chin chin, the flatter it is, the crunchier it becomes. So you can see that I've rolled it to my desired thinness at this point. You can also roll it to your desired thinness, okay? So you want to use a knife if you have one. You can also use a pizza cutter for this. Just cut it into the different lengths that you want. Then you pile them up together and then you cut it all through and then separate the strands. I'm going to show you how I do it with my pizza cutter. So for this one, if you do not want to put them on top of the other, you just go with the pizza cutter and cut them into strips at once, okay? But this one worked for me today, so I just thought I should do it like this. So you make sure that it's well floured so that you can separate the strands easily, and then you can have a good product at the end of the day. So once that is done, you want to make sure that everything is set. You should have some oil on fire by this time. You can use any type of oil that you have, just make sure it's good oil. Let it be nice and hot, and then drop in your chin chin and then fry it until it's nice and golden brown. This comes together really easy. So in the beginning, you may not want to mix it too much because you don't want it to fold up. They are fragile in the beginning. So once you are done frying, they are nice and golden brown to your desire. You want to take it out and put it on a parchment paper to drain all that excess oil, or put it in your sieve to drain the oil, and it is nice and done. The longer it cools down, the crunchier it becomes, and you will have a beautiful snack for your next party or your next gathering. Next is these peanut butter cookies. They are made with very easy to find ingredients, and they come out nice and crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Let's get into it. So for this recipe, you'll be needing some margarine. You want to make sure you whisk it a bit so that it loosens up and it's easier to add the peanut butter. So for the peanut butter, I use regular peanut butter in the African market. You can use the branded ones if that's what you want as well. Like I said earlier, I've left everything with their measurements in the description box, so feel free to check that out. Once you mix the peanut butter and it's well combined, add some granulated sugar as well, and then some salt, and give that a very good mix until it comes together. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Once it comes together nicely, you want to add some vanilla extract and also 1 room temperature egg. You can omit the egg if you do not want it, but for this recipe, The eggs are going to give it that chewy texture on the inside. So you want to give it a good mix and then make sure it combines really well. Then you want to go ahead and add your flour. So for this recipe, I use soft flour for this. You can also use all-purpose flour and it works very well. I added it in 2 batches. You want to mix until it combines well before you add the rest. If you are new here and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, this is your time to join this amazing family. And if you haven't given this video a like yet, this is a time to appreciate the content by giving it a like, and also let's know where you are watching from in the comments section. I froze this in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and once we are back, it's time to work on the dough. So you want to flour your work surface and your rolling pin to make sure that the dough does not stick to the surface. So roll it until it's not so thin and not so thick, because when it bakes, you want it to come out nice and crispy on the outside. So you want to take off the sides if you are going to make square shapes like I am doing, so that you can have nice and even shapes when you are done. Next, you want to put them on your greased baking tray and make sure they are a bit apart from each other so that they don't gum together in the oven. So you want to use any bowl or a cookie cutter also to make different shapes that you like. And once that is done, you put it in your preheated oven at 190 degrees Celsius for about 10 to 12 minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on them because every oven has its own characteristics, okay? So bake that until it's nice and golden brown on the edges, and you'll have delicious cookies to serve your guests anytime, any day. Make sure it cools down before you store them. These are cookies that you can store in your cookie jar. Make sure it's airtight and it can last you about a week. And also you can freeze them for a month or more. You only have to thaw them till it gets to room temperature, then you can use it. So let me know what you think about this recipe whilst we move to the next one. We are making some spring roll wraps. We begin by adding our flour to the bowl, adding some salt, and then giving it a good mix, and then adding some water. The measurements for this recipe is also going to be in the description box. So you want to give this a very good mix until the dough is formed. Then you want to knead it on your work surface until it's nice and smooth. So for this recipe, you can also make samosa wraps with this exact same recipe, money bags with this exact same recipe. Once you achieve a nice and smooth dough, you want to let it rest on your counter for about 15 minutes. You can cover it with a nice kitchen towel or just your plastic wrap. And then once that is done, after 15 minutes, you want to flour your work surface, and then you will notice that the dough becomes softer and easier to work with. So you want to divide this into 10 equal parts. You can make it into a log to make that much easier for you to do. I divided mine into 9 parts, but this dough can divide into 10 equal parts. You want to make the dough into small balls and set them aside. Then you are going to make use of your rolling pin. Each ball can be made into a small circle, okay? So make them into small circles. We are going to stack them up one on top of the other. If you are a beginner, you can start by doing like 5 at a time or 4 at a time. So you want to get some vegetable oil and then a brush, a pastry brush, and you want to put the oil on the surface, apply it nicely on the surface, and then stack them up in 4 layers. Once that is done, the topmost layer would not have oil on it. You will have to sprinkle some flour on top of it so that it's easy to roll it with your rolling pin. You want to use your rolling pin to roll it until it's nice and flat. You can go on both sides just to make sure that they are rolled out a little bit evenly, okay? Usually the topmost part and the bottom part are going to be smaller than the ones in the middle, but with time it gets better. So you want to roll this not too thin, but thin enough to separate. So by this time you should have your pan heating under medium heat. Make sure it's nice and hot, and what you are going to do here is to heat up the dough on both sides until they begin to come off on the top. Okay, so that means that you are going to be flipping it over from time to time and checking on it. Make sure you are not cooking the dough because it can become firm and not easy to work with. The reason why I was turning mine this way is because I have an even distribution of heat. But if your heat is evenly distributed, you should have no problem just tossing it and then making sure that it works. So you can see it's beginning to open up a little, which means that it is ready to be used. So you want to transfer this to your kitchen napkin and cover it so that it doesn't dry out. You can also go ahead and peel it immediately like I am doing. Just make sure you go slowly so that you do not have them tearing anyhow. Don't worry if you get tears in the beginning. If you are a beginner or this is your first time, you may tear the dough from time to time, so it comes with a lot of practice. Just be slow. I have to fast forward the video because I don't want it to be too long. So just like you are seeing, you take it from the sides and then try to pull them gently until it comes off on the sides. Then you can pull them in the middle as well. And look at how beautiful they turned out. We'll cover this so that it doesn't dry out, and then we'll prepare our mixture for binding. This is made with flour and water. Just mix it together. It shouldn't be very light. It can be a little bit sticky so that it sticks together when you assemble everything. So here we have our wraps, and then we are going to fill them with the filling and roll it into our spring rolls. So I have this simple filling that I made. The recipe for this filling is in my video for spring rolls on my YouTube channel. You want to take about a tablespoon of the filling and then roll it twice, and then roll it on the side and then roll it onto itself again. Then before you get to the end, you want to brush on your binder, which is the flour and water mixture that we just made. Apply that and then roll it on top of it, and it sticks beautifully just like you are seeing on the screen. I'm going to repeat it the second time for you to see. One thing I also want you to notice that the rough side of the dough should be the one receiving the filling, so that the smooth side can be the part where everyone sees and you can have a nice presentation. So we are done with everything. You can freeze them or fry them immediately. They freeze very well. Just put them in an airtight container. So we are going to fry ours now. We have some oil which we are pouring in here. We are going to heat it until it's nice and hot. You can check if it's hot by inserting a skewer, and if it bubbles up, it means the oil is hot enough. Then you want to add in your spring rolls. Make sure that you don't overcrowd your pan so that you can stir everything very well. You can stir with your skewer from time to time to make sure that they are cooking evenly. Fry it until it's nice and golden brown to your desire. And once you achieve that nice and golden brown color, then you want to take it off, put it on your parchment paper or in your sieve to drain that excess oil, and your spring rolls are ready to serve and enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here, welcome to Vicky in the kitchen. Don't forget that God loves you and has a great plan for your life. See you in my next video. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.